Okay, everyone, we're starting the speakers segment of the event in just a moment. If you want to head over from the picnic tables.
So we have a mix of Mandarin and Sichuan dialect, okay? You can think our language is kind of strange. I wish I could speak more languages, you know, Spanish would be great. How about French? Who speaks French here? I think the French people think that's the most beautiful language. I think all of your names is very interesting song. Almost like all kind of food like yes. And the stay reps, if you would like to speak here, please sit on here in the front, so we know you're willing to speak. And they're already there, I know them, those two guys.
Are you sure you want to claim that? Only half of it's true.
But you two will.
Places over here if you want to sit.
So, yeah, the rest who hate me but come here to eat food, that'd be weird. So reps who endorse me, they're here to support me and they will speak and to tell you why they endorse me or how we met or whatever. You know, this is pretty easy. So now I'm going to introduce you to my volunteer campaign lead in the North New Hampshire, Matt. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you so much, Lily. Hello and good evening, everyone. I hope you're all having a lucky Friday the 13th. I'm Matt, as Lily said, Northern Campaign Lead for her campaign. I'd like to thank you all for being here, including our esteemed and accommodating host, who would like to say a few words. Please grant him your attention and give him a round of applause. Thank you so much, Dustin.
My name is Dustin. Welcome to the farm. My family and I have been here since '92, so we have a little bit of time here.
Just a little.
So I was raised here. Then I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18. So, thank you. We deployed to Afghanistan, 1st Battalion 6 Marines, where that American flag came from. So it's seen some days. I saw Lily on Tim Cass' podcast for the first time and really liked her message. And I think her story is something that this nation needs to see. There's a lot of young people that don't understand how bad things can get. They have not seen it. And I think her story will help change some minds. That being said, the business right there, Hacklebora, we've been here for a while. We know what we're doing, or like to think we do. And we were one of the lucky ones that actually had apples this year. A lot of orchards didn't. So if you guys want to come on a weekend, go for a hayride, get some cider donuts, this is the place.
And the goats.
And pet the goats. Visit the goats. And that's all I got for you. Thanks for coming out.
Very eloquent.
That's great. Thanks so much, Dustin. I listened to Tim Cass too. That's great. I understand we have some representatives here that would like to speak in support of Lily. Could I have Representative Mannion first? Great.
All right. Hi guys, I'm Tom Mannion. I'm from Pelham. I've only lived in the States since 2020. I moved up here from Massachusetts to escape lockdowns, and just like I immediately hit the ground running, wanted to run for state rep. And just like the first two speakers, I also first heard Lily on Tim Cass. I'm one of those like terminally online millennials that spend too much time on the internet. But when I heard Lily's entire life speech, I found it super inspirational. You always see like those memes on the internet where you have like that leftist kid who's trying to like convince some former communist survivor. It's like, well, communism's not that bad. It's like, to me, Lily is the epitome of the person who's lived that experience and can give like a perspective. It's like, well, I've actually been through this, so like all that leftist professor stuff that you guys are learning in the universities is completely debased. It's not based on reality. So it's like, I found that story absolutely inspiring, and it's like, not only that, but it's like, I'm also a big Second Amendment person, and when she, like, one of the first images I saw of Lily is her with the AR-15. I love it so much. It's just like such a great like Second Amendment supporter, and she knows why. Because if you let a rampant government take your firearms and just stomp all over you, you end up with stuff like in communist China. And we're in a phase now where the United States may potentially head in that direction with things like it's like the marriage between those massive corporate entities that are using like DEI, which is like the diversity, equity, inclusion, which is a social credit score at the corporate level. We need protections from that at the federal level, in my opinion. These type of things are going to be used to like, design or craft the way that we live our lives from a corporate perspective, and it's going to be ingrained in our lives. Things like, passports to go wherever you go. You can't enter a business if you have too low of a social credit score. We can't allow these type of things to come into the United States, and I'm sure that Lily is the perfect person for that job. So that's why I gave her my endorsement. So thank you all.
I believe we have another representative or two. Was there another that would like to step up next? That's great.
Hello, I'm Representative Cyril Orrs. I ran with this gentleman. I used the term very lightly. And you've probably noticed our campaign buttons. We had these on our signs. We ran a different kind of campaign. We are very much in support of Second Amendment, like Lily, parental rights, right to work. We believe that children like Lily should get a good education, and like your poster says here, not a communist indoctrination, the nation she left. So thank you, we're for the rights of the parents, right? We want the parents to raise their children. We want the parents to be first in their lives. These are the things that Lily wants. And we don't want to take our country down this road of socialism to communism. We want to remain a free republic. One more thing I'd like to say, we see the atrocities going on in the Middle East once again. We have to remember that in this nation, we have killed 63 million human beings. It's called abortion. And we are pro-life. We are for protecting human life. We don't want to see children castrated by this government and this education system of ours. We don't want to see young teenage gals have their breasts removed. Right? I mean, this is, what's that? There you go. I mean, we just want to see these kids have a chance to be kids. Let's end this. I mean, these children, we wouldn't let a child take a drink or many drinks, get in the car and decide that, oh, this is my time to drive. But we're going to let a child decide if they're going to be castrated or otherwise mutilated. I mean, we need to get this country back on track and do the right thing. Let's get it right. Thank you. And now, I want to introduce you to Representative Clayton Wood.
Again, I apologize. I got to meet Lily before I actually met her. I have 3 children that I adopted from China. And when I was searching the internet, I found this young lady talking about Mao's China. I'm going to get this wrong, but you can help me. You had some responsibility for a Chinese outreach, I believe, that put these emails together, not emails, videos together. So I wanted to get my children to understand their country and what they left in a way that I just couldn't represent it. It was amazing. I was in tears when I looked. I don't know if anybody's seen these videos, but it's just amazing what went on there. And I could just imagine my kids there and saving them. So then, after that, I got to meet Lily, I think at Merrimack, the first time we met, giving a speech, and I was just amazed, the passion in this lady. Disillusioned.
every time I've seen this woman at an event. She comes from the heart all the time. She should be writing material for the rest of us, because this is what we need. This is what this country needs. And as my colleague said before, we're losing in a lot of areas. I was very impressed. This woman, I think she called me up 2 days after the election and told me that save her signs because she's running again. Signs. I told her, I said, I hope you're going to take a few months off, but I know how hard she worked, running. We ran for a state rep. We have to represent, we have to impress about 3,000 people. It's a lot different when you run for Congress, U.S. Congress. You got to impress a lot more people. So when you look at what she did, winning 25%, and I know how much help she got from the New Hampshire GOP. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here early. That's why she's here early. It's not too early to help this woman and help her every way you can. So, I don't know. I could talk for a long time. This woman inspires me all the time, and I wish I could just give half that she's doing right now. So, thank you so much.
She's going to introduce me last. Are you sure? And we have to. Yes, Rob. I'm too short.
Still on the show. Yeah, she's a spitfire.
Hi, I'm Ralph Bohm, state rep from Litchfield. And I've known Lily for a few years now. When I first met her when I was on the Hillsborough County GOP, she used to come. She was also the chairman of the Weir. You know, where?
Nowhere.
Right. The Weir Town GOP. And so I endorsed her when she first ran. And also, she had a big rally in the State House before she even decided to run on CRT crap, and why we should be against it, because that's communism. So it also ditto what pretty much everybody else said, except for parental rights. We think parental rights for school. You have a problem. There's parental rights in medical.
Yes.
And I came across this accidentally when in my mail I got mail from Elliott Hospital for the little girl down the street. That I knew, so I just brought it over to the mailbox. And then I talked to somebody else, and she said, yeah, the hospitals and doctors don't have to tell the parents what they're treating their kids for. So, unless you have a good rapport with your doctor and your kid's going to it, you better make sure your doctor's telling you. I look at it this way. If I'm paying the bill, the doctor better tell me. So, that's all about parental rights. And what was another issue, there's parental rights that goes across the board. The parents need to know what is going on. Also, in education, we couldn't pass, this past year, we couldn't pass the parental rights bill. It was, the Democrats and some Republicans were against it. Well, I don't call them Republicans, but anyway. But there's bills, there's laws already existing. And Frank Eaglebolt, the commissioner, came to our Hillsborough County GOP meeting last month, and I'm going to have him on my cable show, which I'll distribute, about, I think it's RSA 187 something, which I remember when I was on education, we put it in. If anything doing with sexuality, you have to be notified 2 weeks in advance. And the commissioner considers that including gender.
Oh, good.
So, and the thing is, and the law says that the schools have to have a policy for this. If they break that law, you can notify the principal and the commissioner. And the teacher can lose their certification.
Ooh, yes.
So that's existing law, and I know in Amherst, because I was talking to a mother there, she said, yes, she gets notifications when that's happening, and she can say no. So make sure your towns are doing it. If your kid, and so the commissioner mentioned, so if your kid brings a book home from school dealing with gender, you aren't notified. So you can bring that up. So just what I endorsed, what's her name? Lily. I lost Lily last time. We had a booth for it, the Hudson Old Home Days. So, I mean, and we did good. She won Litchfield. She won Ware, and she won two. But, yeah, so hopefully her opponents from last time aren't going to run. I know one of them in Keene isn't going to run. So hopefully we can keep it. Yeah. So people don't come out of the woodwork at the last minute. So anyway, so yeah, I'm endorsing her again and campaigning for her, and I have all the signs from last time. And
money.
so anyway, so thank you, and Lily4Congress Williams for Congress.
Where's the mic? Yeah, here you go.
Hello everyone. Did everyone enjoy the Chinese food tonight? I want to say thank you for that Chinese food. It was delicious, and you had my endorsement without it, but definitely. We give you another one maybe for that food. That was really good. But I first heard about Lily4Congress Williams before I had any kind of political ambitions. Rebuild New Hampshire had a podcast, and I just happened to watch it, and I saw something just really captivating, really amazing. It was this small Asian lady with such a big aura and such a big, just so much courage and bravery. And so when I eventually ran for state rep in Haverhill, New Hampshire, it's a no-brainer to support Lily. So she's one of the most captivating stories, right? That's what everyone says. It's all about the story. So that's the biggest, chip that we have with her, is that people really just need to hear her story. That's the most compelling part. So that's, we got some gold here. And yes, sir. Looking forward to a good rest of the night, and thank you to everyone. Bye-bye.
American state rep here. So Chinese all know about Hungary.
I endorsed Lily last time too, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm stingy about this kind of stuff, because you got to be the real deal. Lillian's the real deal. Woo! Like she said, we're kindred spirits. She came here to escape communism from China. I came here to escape it from Hungary through my parents. And to follow up on that, on the 27th, there's going to be a commemoration of the 1956 Hungarian Revolution against the Soviet Union at the State House, at the plaque that is at the State House, and we got the governor to have a proclamation. And if you know anybody from that era who's still alive, tell them about it. It's going to be at 3 o'clock on the 27th at the State House. I'd love to hear them speak, because we need to remember the old timers. And I think Lily would come around. It'd be great to come if she spoke to, because we need to remember why and the nuts and bolts of what they did to ruin, well, people's lives. So, Lily is the real deal.
another state rep here, but she's not ready to speak yet. So okay, can we just introduce you? Oh yeah, introduce you. Can you see last name? Wolfram. Yeah. And then we have another, Republican woman rep who's going to introduce me later. But I just want people to meet you and my family.
One of our past representatives, Norm Silver.
Thanks. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Norm Silver. I represented Belknap County, Guilford and Meredith was my district in 17, 18, and 21 and 22, and got retired by the voters last time. So now I'm back to practicing law. I just want to say you've heard from several of the reps, and if you don't get the message, we are in the midst of a major cultural war in this country. It is real. It is real. And you need to stand up for these things. We need to oust the rhinos. We need to elect real Republicans, not rhinos. And Lily, let's assume that Lily is going to be the nominee for the party. She's going against a Dem who's been in office for much too long and who has an enormous financial campaign account. So Lily is going to need all our support, not only for voting, and of course my view is always vote early and often, which is the Chicago method, right? Vote early and often, but help in the campaign. But there was a Democrat years ago, and I don't know whether it was Tip O'Neill or someone like that, said, money is the mother's milk of politics. Money is the mother's milk of politics. So to the extent that you can help Lily's campaign financially, I urge you to do so. Lily is the genuine article. She's the real deal. If she gets elected, as we hope she will hopefully be a troublemaker. I was a troublemaker. I enjoy being a troublemaker. We need real deal troublemakers in Washington and in the state. So help Lily as the best you can. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And up next, Lily's father, Mr. Tang.
And my brother, I'm going to introduce my Chinese family all together. Yeah.
Okay.
You said she's on it. We have an interpreter actually, because they don't speak English that well. Where's Xiao Liu? Translate. Well, I can always be backup translator. So that way, from Sichuanese to Mandarin, Mandarin to English. So this is my father and Mr. Tang, and my brother Ming and his wife Hong. They are visiting New Hampshire. And they've been cooking since this morning. So all the meatballs, all the food is like my sister-in-law is a fantastic cook. And he's very good kitchen helper, chopper, non-stop. And my dad was going through all my photo albums to, remember, I brought all my childhood pictures from China to New Hampshire with me. So I like to for my dad to say a few words and in Sichuanese, and then of course I will translate for you. 随便你说实在话，随便你说啥子， 说Lily，汤背后，
大家好，我从来没在这个场合说话，我说有些说的不好的地方呢，请大家担当。我看我在我的女儿生前，我找美国的美国议会接了我是我爱这个美国政府和美国人对我的爱护和我的支持。我从这感觉自己来到美国，我从这个美国是我第二故乡。我这个美国确实这样子这么美好，对我的这个帮助和爱护，就是。
我给你翻译一下嘛吧，你说两句哦，So my dad is saying that he has never spoke to so many people before, and this is the first time. And he come here as an immigrant, and he really loves America, and he really appreciates the freedom we have here. And 我给你翻译说什么对我讲的。
我对我女儿的话，一贯是很好，说她在国内这里也很好，我就感觉我自己骄傲和自豪。
My dad said ever since I was little, I was very active, extroverted, active. Well, he did not mention I was a little young pioneer and a red guard, very brainwashed by the communists. And so he is very, very proud to support me. He's very proud. I am running for Congress.
我的女儿是梦想多年了。想想选上这个议员，因为他在国内，他的专业就是学的这个，在国内也是明白他学这个。
My dad thinks that I studied law in China. He thinks that out of family, he said I'm always kind of ambitious. I don't know. My dad thinks because I'm the one who studied law and the first one went to college, and because my parents are illiterate, so they couldn't help me to study at all.
所以我希望大家支持我的女儿在这一次当选议员。他是这个人是情绪是很重的。如果你们当选他是永远一辈子都能记得到的，是吧？所以他是感情很重的人，很重视感情的人。
So my dad said that please support my daughter, and she's a very real fan, and she will never betray your trust, and support her to win.
我感谢大家对我这回选的是大的支持和关怀。
Say thank you very much for your support and donating, and appreciate everything you do here, and volunteers too.
谢谢大家。
My brother Ming.
大家好，我是明，是丽丽的弟弟。我和我妻子还有我们的儿子，唯一的一个儿子，我们在2015年从中国成都来到美国。我们到了美国过后，感觉这个美国人民很热情。经常走在路上，特别是像我父亲走在路上一个人散步的时候，得到了很多普通老百姓的帮助，所以我感觉美国人很热情。
So Ming is my younger brother. He and his wife and his son came over to United States in 2015 as legal immigrants, and found Americans are very welcome in Colorado, because that's where they live right now.
我们来到美国过后，我们大家都很热爱这个国家，热爱这里的人民，感觉他们都是很热情的。然后我姐姐这次的竞选，我们也感到很自豪，因为她代表了我们很多的中国人、亚洲人，这是第一个吧，这个州。
第一个中国出生。
对，第一个中国出生的华人代表。
He's very proud of me to be the only congressional candidate today who was born and raised in mainland China. So he feel like he's thrilled to come here to support me to run because I am the unique one.
我现在就是希望我姐姐这次来赢下这次选举，然后我也感谢大家对她的支持，谢谢大家。
I say thank you for supporting me and coming here today to have a chance to meet you. And he hopes I win and to fulfill my dream. And plus, my brother, as a legal immigrant, waited in China for 13 years to immigrate. He could come here a lot younger and work a lot more years. Now he and his wife and work very hard through entire pandemic in Walmart because they don't speak English well, and that's the job they took. And my brother worked on 2 jobs at the beginning, and later 3 jobs, and his wife 2 jobs, his son, teenager son 1 job. They work hard, and they could not even speak English well, but they're living American dream today. They bought a house in Colorado, their son is in college, and they're still working for Walmart. But they have no complaint because they're still grateful to be in this country. That's kind of immigrants we need in our country. So, thank you. So now I'm going to have somebody and unique and state representative and Vicky to introduce me. That sounds kind of weird. Gonna come here?
Hi everybody, I'm Nikki McCarter. I'm from Belmont, and I am pleased to be here to speak on behalf of Lily 10 Williams tonight. I read something recently, and I had to make some notes for myself, and our printer was on the fridge, so I couldn't print it out, so I'm going to read it from my phone. There's a story that I've been reflecting on recently, and it seems to mirror the reality lately more closely than I find comfortable, and it's the Emperor's New Clothes. People are afraid to speak the truth despite the obvious facts in front of them because they're led to believe that truth is less important than the perception of that lie. In the story, if you haven't read it, which you all should, a propaganda campaign convinces the townspeople that if they dared to point out the truth of the naked emperor, that they were stupid and incompetent fools. One day, a young boy was brave enough to blurt out, "The emperor has no clothes!" And it was at that moment that the propaganda scheme was exposed. Truth set the people free. The story is a perfect allegory of mob psychology and how effective it is. Sadly, most people don't want to be the lone voice in the wilderness shouting out the truth. They're afraid to speak up. Now that being the case, have you ever heard of apple pie propaganda or mockingbird media? Well, in a nutshell, it is the U.S. government version of the Emperor's New Clothes. There's something called the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948. I know this might sound a little technical, so just bear with me for a minute. This act, for about 60 years, banned the U.S. Department of State and the Broadcasting Board of Governors from spreading government-produced programming within the United States over fears that the agencies would propagandize us, the American people. I know it would concern you all to know that that act was abolished in 2013. Buried deep in the 2012 National Defense Authorization Act was the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. And what that did was basically allow the government to propagandize things. They can tailor it specifically to the U.S. public for consumption using any media outlet as it sees fit, while remaining anonymous as the source of the material being reported. So much of the news we consume today is scripted, orchestrated, taxpayer-funded, and fully supported with the invisible stamp of the U.S. government. You might successfully make the case that this is the start of a police state, and that's what it looks like. I wouldn't argue against you. Every form of a police state can be found in China. Strict censorship, extensive state surveillance, frequent imprisonment, and if not, execution. Those perceived to be speaking out against the regime are all subject to that. But there are people here in this room that can speak to that way better than me. And someone in particular with a more powerful and unique potential to help reverse our course. And that woman is Lily Williams. I'm very proud here to offer her my full endorsement and support in any way I can.
Well, my husband just told me I was too close last time, so I'm very loud, right? So I have to stand back a little bit. So actually, I do want to introduce my husband of 33 years, and John Williams. If you have not met him, come on, John, standing up. When I first met him, the first night in Austin, Texas, I just flew over from China for 23 hours. I was airsick, could not speak English, and I looked green, very pale. And I met him, his mom, his entire family, and I did not know 2 years later I would be married to this guy because he looked like an alien to me. I just came over from 1.4 billion Chinese, and he got very dark blue eyes. And so I thought, my mom always say, God sent him to you the first night. So here we are, married for 33 years and 3 wonderful children. Well, even though John is a man of a few words, but he's a rock solid husband. So let me tell you something. If somebody someday I get elected, I start to feel a little bit, I'm a congresswoman now, and I feel full of myself, and my husband will be the one to say, do not forget what you said to me. Do not forget what you fought for in the past. That means he will keep me really honest and really straight. So I will survive this swamp. I will be like, I always tell people, if you want somebody who go to Washington, you trust, will never become corrupt, will have resistance to the power, should elect somebody who is like a Frodo, little hobbit, wears lots of rain, wears this magical rain, but will never be corrupted. Oh, he almost did get corrupted near the end of the movie. So, but it's good to have somebody like me who survived communism, who survived totalitarian government, who really understands freedom is fragile and freedom is precious. And what more could be important to a human being than freedom? I'm running because I feel our freedom is slipping away. And like my dad said, we did not have much freedom in China, and lots of Chinese still don't today. But we are here as immigrants to say Americans are losing their freedom and rights. I cannot sit idle. I have to run for something. I have been educating people for 10 years in this country. Our country is getting worse. So I feel like, how can I do something more powerful, more impactful? And how can I get my kids living their American dream? So if people understand where I come from and help me to win, it will be like not just for me, but it's for our children. What kind of country they were living. I don't have much money last time. I did not win. But that's the nature of politics. Money works, money speaks. Nobody took me seriously because I did not have money. And I also did not speak perfect English yet. And that's okay, right? But you know where I come from. And my dad, gave me this fighter spirit. He could never be cropped in China, even though he was pressured by the Communist Party to bribe and to get his business license. He never bent the knee. So if you want to trust somebody who will never bend the knee, will be close to the people, and really listen to the people, and represent the people, that's somebody like me. So even though I'm the only one who born in China running for Congress, but there are some other people who survived communism are already in the Congress. And so I'm hoping to join them because we know how much we love this country and we appreciate what we have. And we are living American dream just by being able to even run for Congress. Which country can we go to do this? My dad knows that when I came here, I borrowed $100. And today, I have 3 home business, wonderful husband, and 3 wonderful children. I could just enjoy my life, and if this was the same country, I thought it's going to be there for my children. So that's why I'm doing this. And I do have good news that a private donor told me whatever money I raise from now on, starting from today, move forward, we have a 24th Hollis fundraiser, I have a 26th, another private fundraiser. Any money I raised, he will double it up to a certain amount. And I really love New Hampshire. I met John in Austin, Texas. Then we later graduated and moved to Wyoming, lived there for a few years. And then we moved back to Colorado just for like a few months, got sent to Hong Kong, worked for 2 years, and witnessed the turnover of Hong Kong from British to Chinese government. It's very sad to say. If you want to know what it's like, you once had freedom and you lost it, just look at today's Hong Kong. Hong Kong people no longer are free. They have no free speech, and they have no freedom of religion. And look at the Falun Gong people. By the way, thank you for Epoch Times here to be the only press here to report this event. And they're always, because they understand how freedom of religion is so critical to human dignity, to human life. They continue to be persecuted in China. And so they have to escape their own native country to live in freedom, to choose whatever religion they want to practice. And I do want to thank all the people here, especially my volunteers. Without them, I cannot do this by myself. So my team, Matt, Cassie, and Kate. So my volunteers, please stand up. Let's everybody give them a big hand. And I do have 2 also advisors here, and Mark back there. Mark, yeah, that gentleman, he's also advised me. He moved here from also Rhode Island, a blue state, and Massachusetts later. So he also understands how critical it is to keep our state free. And also Mr. Zen and his wife Wendy, please. Where's Mr. Zen? Come on, stand up, Rick. And Rick is retired professor from New Hampshire University, and he has PhD in mathematics. He thinks just like 1, 2, 3, extremely logical. Sometimes, I feel like I want to listen to people, who understand New Hampshire, who also understand all the messages to actually win people over. So he understands New Hampshire people what they're looking for, because I'm from Colorado. I just moved here 4 years ago. So when I have advisors like that, and of course, Norman, who just spoke, former state rep, and I have, you all are supporters. You all are wonderful supporters coming here. Most important, my friend, dear friend, Dustin, who just spoke, who gave us this venue today for the event. Thank you so much. And thank you, Father. And the same for your service. He was in Afghanistan. Actually, some of flags here, he had them in Afghanistan. He brought them back here. So, and after we connected, how did we run into each other? He'd been donating every month. I even did not pay attention to this guy. Then I saw him selling some apple cider at one of the local county fairs. He said, "You are Lily Williams?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, I saw you on Teamcast." He come give me a hug, so happy. I said, "Who are you?" It's like, "Oh, I'm Dustin. I've been donating to you every month." Oh, you are Dustin. Oh, it's like, sometimes it's so wonderful to meet person, in face and hug them, listen to their voices, instead of I just say a name and donate money. Of course, I write thank you notes, but it's nothing more personal, more exciting than meet somebody in person. And then I come here, visit his farm, and I had a Chinese friend who came here, even work for him temporarily last, year to pick apples. and I just really appreciate, his support. There are so many hardworking and Americans out there, and I think our politicians in DC have forgot about them. And Democrats and politicians say they are the party of working people, but look at today's country, the inflation and the energy cost, and the border chaos, and the crimes, and not even talk about all that divisiveness and the parental rights are under attack. So if I get elected, I will help all the reps, our state government, to say, hey, what do you need at the federal level? How can I help you? I think for example, when it comes to education, at the federal level, the best thing I can do is to sponsor or co-sponsor a bill to get rid of Department of Education. It's a local issue. It's a parental control issue. Our kids don't belong to government. They belong to parents. They belong to you. They belong to us. Only the communists, socialists believe kids belong to them, because that's how they can brainwash them. Did you see our college kids go study for 4 years? Parents got into lots of student loan debt for them, and they come out look like Karl Marx. It's like, why do you spend $50,000 a year training your kid to be Karl Marx?
Thank you.
And so my other top 3 issues, if you look at my website, lilytonwilliams.com, the top issues, economy. We need to get the federal government constantly involved in economy, have all their red tape, have all their out of control spending, and the people are suffering today because guess what? Our national debt is $33 trillion. Everybody's head has $97,000 debt, including the baby who just born yesterday. And last year, every day, our national debt interest payment is $1.3 billion a day. And look at our today, our veterans are suffering. We have homeless issues. We have people on fixed income, retirees cannot afford lots of things. And but our politicians not in touch with people to say, you know what, inflation is almost over, and you all should just get rid of your gas stoves, your gas cars, and all buy electric vehicles. Even Ancaster voted with, her, of course, party to support all the Green New Deal, like policies in California, in Illinois by 2035. You all should just drive electric vehicle, but who's going to buy for you? Government? I mean, we're going to rely on government some more. They screwed up so bad, we're going to rely on them more. They even don't know how to do simple math, right? And no appropriation bills, just continue resolution. Let's print some more money, then blame on walls because inflation is so high. No, it's you have been out of control spending money like crazy because you can print money, and the inflation is taxation without legislation. So all the people who think the government is still your solution, no, they're never your solutions. I will never pretend I'm your solution either. I'm going to go there, serve you. I'm going to listen to your concerns. But I'm not your solution. I think the government needs to get out of the way. Then the economy can grow, and jobs can be created. Entrepreneur spirit can be unleashed. We have lots of smart people, hardworking people in this country. They don't need some federal government to tell you what you can do, cannot do. And all that red tapes just, type people up. That's horrible. That's not going to grow our economy. So I think that where I'm going to vote, right? I would like to see 12 appropriation bills, and I'd like to reduce national debt, like to bring inflation down, and also cut regulations and red tapes and free economy. Free market capitalism is still the best way towards prosperity. Yeah, prosperity, that's what I come here for. I don't want to come here to be poor like I was in China. I did not own anything in China. I had one used to buy, and I sold it before I come here. So I want to live in prosperity. I am today. I have 3 home business. But I'm just worried about how about young people today. My kids are worried about their futures. Like, Mom, I can never afford to anything. I can't even pay rent. How am I going to ever buy a house with a mortgage rate at 7%? I say, well, think twice before you vote next time, okay? Yeah, young people don't get it. They keep voting for Democrats and they're complaining about, I cannot afford to buy anything. Well, maybe you should learn a little bit economics 101, So, number 2 issue, free speech. I'm telling you, this country is going down the wrong path. I had to self-censor in order to publish my post on Facebook or something. Follow me on Twitter. It's a lot more effective now. Facebook. They shadow ban me. And my political posts never reach out to people far away. Can you imagine Americans have to bite their tongues today in order to not to be canceled, not to be even fired on their jobs? You cannot openly to express your opinions. Everything can be categorized as, hate speech. Who decides? What speech is misinformation, hate speech? The government, great, Big Brother is going to decide, And this collusion between big tech with the federal government to censor speech is fascism. It's communism. It's like what communist China do. So when Biden trying to say, let's have this misinformation, disinformation board last year, I immediately issued press release. Defund it. Well, they never took off. So the pressure was so big. So I think that we really need to seriously look at the free speech under attack in this country. So follow me on X, Lily Williams, Lily for Liberty, and of course border security, as I said. My brother waited 13 years. Lots of immigrants here all go through legal process to come to this country. Long-term health screen, background check, and financial sponsors. But Biden's policies look chaos. also humanitarian. I'm a legal immigrant. I support legal immigration. Our economy needs people like my brother, his wife come here to work, to pay taxes, to pay Social Security. But those people wait for 13 years, other people come in, you don't know who is who, then, then they disappear. After what? Even less than 24 hours processing, then they're gone. They never go back to face the judges. It's absolutely just to us, it's like what this country has become chaotic. Rule of law is not enforced. We need a real immigration reforms to incentivize people to come here legally, like all of us did. But if they have to wait for 18 years, 13 years, people don't have that time to, wait. So if you want to check my other issues, including foreign policy, there's one thing I need to mention. I do support term limits. Term limits. Well, I will sign or co-sign the bill to say maximum 3 terms for the House of Representatives, 2 terms for U.S. Senators. How is that? Coming home, to be part of regular citizens, to know their pains, to know their sufferings, instead of become the party of lobbyists, a party of elitists, and even become globalists, and let the World Economic Forum, United Nations, Agenda 30 to dictate our citizens' lives. I mentioned that before. I said the Congress has job to do budget, control the purse, appropriation bills, and I would like to say we balance budget. Number 2, who declares wars in the Constitution? Congress. Congress. When was last time Congress declared war before we went to war? Yes, World War II. So Congress, probably their approval rating is like under 10%, has been always that one for years, but they keep getting elected. What's wrong with this country, right? It's like, hey, approval rating is so low, but they keep getting elected. Who is doing all this stuff? So I support that. I would love to challenge Ann Custer to say, you've been there for 12 years. Do you support term limit? Do you think it's time to retire? For the people, by the people, of the people? And what have you done in the past 12 years?
No.
And you voted for all those crazy Democrats' policies, progressives. She voted with Pelosi, Biden, AOC, 99% of time. And she does not town halls. I cannot go shake her hands, even say, hey, I have a question for you, Congresswoman. I never had that chance since I come here. She's my Congresswoman. So there's so much we can do. But the most important, we need to keep the American dream alive. And I don't care what party you belong to, and if you are independent, if you are immigrant, and this is our country, and we have so much in common, and we need to have civil conversations. We need to respect each other. We need to win over the independents to join us. If Republicans just preach to the choir and never go reach out to the public, we're not going to win anything. Or the worst, if we're not united as a party, how will you unite the country? I think most people are good people in this country. New Hampshire people have open arms to work on me. Well, of course, a few are just trolling me and attacking me every day. That's okay. That's okay. But I think that I can be that person to just go out, speak plain language like this, and connect with people with their heart, and I can win over the independents if I win the nomination. So please follow me if you're on Twitter. I'm a social media influencer now, 46,000 followers. And yes, more than Ann Custer actually. And I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And I have my YouTube channel, Lily4Congress. I interviewed 25 immigrants already to tell their stories. So if you are immigrant, you know immigrant who can speak good English, tell their stories to come out, warn people. Because we feel like lots of Americans have lost their identity, have lost They are original founding fathers' ideals. They even don't know who they are anymore. They're doing lots of things un-American. We have seen enough during the past year's shutdown. You know what really got me to run last year? Because of COVID lockdowns. I keep saying, are we becoming like China? Why are they doing the same thing Communist Party is doing in China? We are Americans. We have a constitutional rights. They cannot be canceled. I don't care what crisis it is out there. The government emergency power got to be really limited. We are human beings. Like my dad, doesn't matter how poor he was, how illiterate he was, he did not have a power. But he's a human being. He has dignity. He deserves the adequate respect. You cannot treat people like that. You cannot just grab them, like Australia did, China did, to the quarantine camps, and force people have no medical freedom and choice, mandates after another mandates. I'm so terrified to see what's happening. So tell everybody, I'm asking you tonight, whoever comes tonight, go out, tell 2 people about me, and ask them to come to my talks, meet me. 28th, I will be in public library in Bethlehem to speak to the public with children, nonpartisan. If you have local libraries interested in listening to my stories, nonpartisan, I will go, but you have to initiate requests and phone calls. If you have charity clubs, Chamber of Commerce members, veterans group, even Democrats group, I will go everywhere. I have a very thick skin. And because they're human beings, we can have conversations. We don't have to hate each other. Look how much hate does to our world today. I absolutely condemn, Hamas attack on Israel. And all this hatred, even campus, on college campus today, it's like those kids are weaponized. They act like a little communist. It's so sad to see that. So if you are rich parents, tell them don't donate to Harvard, to Columbia University. Don't send your kids there at all. Because that's what your kids do. They come out indoctrinated to be little Karl Marx. Yeah, so check out my website. And if you have people who have some money, don't know who to support, tell them about me. And I'm asking lots of citizens to hold a home fundraiser for me. I will go there, talk like this. They can open up and ask questions. But my goal is to represent the people. We don't have to agree on every policy, but I want people to trust me. I'm real deal, and I will tell you the truth. I will look into your eyes to say, you know what, I'm sorry we disagree, but I have to tell you the truth. I think that can win over some independents to join me because they feel no longer they can trust the career politicians and they can no longer trust even mainstream media. So thank you for all your support and stay around, eat all the food, have fun, and thank everybody who brought the food tonight. And we will stay here as long as we need to and hang out until Dustin, will kick us out. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. Let's keep American dream alive. Yes. Thank you. Any questions? I'm here. Well, let's see. Ask a couple of questions. Anybody? Anybody has questions? Rick? Oh, we can just hang out. All right. I will walk around here. Yeah. Oh, I do want you to give me